Hello everyone, I am Dr. Rajesh and I am once again with you with my next video lecture. And in this video lecture we will study the interpolation formulae for the interpolation of equally spaced data and unequally spaced data. So we will try to cover up as much as possible, but before going further, it is our prime duty to firstly uh, once again discuss the interpolation and what are the uh, different interpolating techniques using the different approximating interpolating curves. So what is interpolation? Once again I will go through the concept, because going through the concept is very much important, because this definition forms the fundamental of the whole of the chapter, and this whole chapter is based upon only this thing, that what is interpolation and what are the different methods to do the interpolation. So it forms half of the syllabus. So I think if we spend some time upon this definition, understanding the grasping and taking an idea of the concept, I don't think that we are doing something very for a very long, but it is the necessity and it is the necessary thing, that is the demand of the time. Okay, so that is why we are doing it. So once again, interpolation is the process of computing intermediate value of a function y is equal to fx from a given set of tabular values of the function. Like we are given this value of the function fx at the point x, x0, x1, x2 and up to xn. Then this is the set of values, and computing the intermediate value of a function from a given set of tabular values is called interpolation. If we are asked to find the value of the function in between them, then that is called interpolation. As we have already discussed it, the population of the town is given below. Estimate the population for the year 1895 and 1930 using suitable interpolation. So this is the tabular data given, and we are asked to find 1800, which is in between this and this, 1930, this is in between this and this. To find the value at this point of the function is called the interpolation from the beginning, and to find the value at this point is called interpolation from the end. So linear polynomial, if we are given a 2-point data, then the polynomial used to approximate the function is nothing but a linear polynomial. And if we are given 3-point data, like here we are given 1, 2 and 3, so then the curve, the approximative curve to interpolate the function is none other than the quadratic polynomial. Likewise, here you see, here are two curves, and this is the linear curve joining the two data point, or approximating the two given data points. So that is called quadratic interpolation. And if we are given 4 data points, likewise here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. If we are given 4 data points, then that polynomial is called cubic polynomial, and the type of interpolation may be called as cubic interpolation. So these were the 3 types of interpolation based upon the approximating curve used to interpolate the function. First is the linear interpolation, second is the quadratic interpolation, and third is the cubic interpolation. Once again, interpolation can be based upon the type of the equally spaced or unequally spaced argument. It means it is based upon the types of the argument, whether the arguments are equally spaced or unequally spaced. So the qualification, this is another form of the qualification which is based upon the spacing between the arguments. If the arguments are equally spaced, then that kind of interpolation is called equally spaced interpolation, and if the points are unequally spaced, then that kind of interpolation is called unequally spaced interpolation. Like here we are illustrating these equally spaced arguments through an example. Like here, value of the function at 4 is 1, at 6 is 3, at 8 is 8, and at 10 is 16. So here we see the arguments are equally spaced. 4 to 6 is 2, 6 to 8 difference is 2, 8 to 10 difference is 2. So here difference between two consecutive value is same, like 6 minus 4 is 2. So the difference between every two consecutive values is equal, and hence these arguments are equally spaced argument. So we will be having different method to calculate the interpolation of a equally spaced argument, and we will be having different methods to calculate the interpolation of unequally spaced argument. So let us go through the example of unequally spaced argument. While look at it, value of function at 1 is 1, at 2 is 5, at 7 is 5, at 8 is 4. Look over here, difference between two consecutive value is not same. Like difference between this and this is 3 is 1, sorry, it's 1, and this is 5, and this is 1. So here difference is 1, here difference is 5, here difference is 1. So this difference is not equally spaced. Somewhere this difference is 1, then it becomes 5, then it once again becomes 1. So this kind of spacing of the arguments is called unequal spacing, because the difference between the consecutive arguments is always not equal. So we now will study that what are the various methods to find the interpolation for equally spaced data. So equally spaced means the data that is having equal spacing. Equal spacing means the difference between the consecutive arguments is always equal to some same quantity, so is always equal to constant quantity, is always equal. So we have the three methods. Fourth one will be also having the Bessel's formula and Abbott's formula. Fifth one we will study it later, but for as of now I am discussing with you Newton's forward difference formula, Newton's backward difference formula, Stirling formula. So these are the interpolation methods for equally spaced data. So Newton's forward difference formula, that is used to interpolate the polynomial when we are required to find the value interpolating value of the function near the beginning of the table, and this is called backward in the sense when we are required to find the interpolating value of the function near the end of the table, near the end of the table. And this is Stirling formula. These are the central difference formulae, so we will be studying them later. Along with this, there are Bessel's formula and Abbott's formula. We will be discussing it later when we will reach at that stage. So as of now, we are mainly concentrated upon these three interpolation formula for equally spaced data. Like, the population of the town is given and we are required to find 1895 population in the year 1895, so it is near, so this Newton forward difference formula will be used. 1910, so this is near to the middle, so what will you say, the Stirling's formula will be used. 1930, using suitable interpolation formula. So for this, your backward difference formula will be used. Okay, so we can find interpolation for unequally spaced data from the following methods. So unequally spaced means the spacing between the arguments is not consecutive, arguments is not equal. So what are the various interpolating formulae for finding or interpolating that kind of polynomial? So first is Newton's divided difference formula over here, and this is Lagrange interpolation formula. These are the two formulae used to interpolate the value for unequally spaced data. Okay, so these are the polynomials, these are the formulae used to interpolate the values of the function for unequally spaced data. Example, compute 9.5 by using interpolation method from the following data. Like here, this data is unequally spaced. It is very much clear that here difference is 0.5, here difference is 1.5. So we are required to find the value of the function at 9.2, where yes, it is somewhere near to this one. So this is the unequal spacing of the data, and we are required to interpolate the value of the function when there is no approximating polynomial is given. So which technique we'll use? We'll use these two formulae to approximate the value of the function at the point. So this is, so these are the some of the formulae that we have discussed. That once again I am going through Newton's backward difference formula, like this one, Newton's forward difference formula, Stirling's formula, and along with it we will also study Bessel's formula and something like that. This is for equally spaced data. And another Newton divided difference formula, Lagrange interpolation formula, these are for unequally spaced data. So these two formulae are very important, and at the later stage we will be not only finding the solution of the numerical problem based upon these formulae, but we will also deriving their formulae, so that we can grasp the idea that what these formulas are actually all about. So these are the, this is for equally spaced and this is for unequally spaced data. So like we are required to find at 9.2. Similarly here, if you see, data is equally spaced. Here difference is 10, here difference is 10, here difference is 10, here difference is 10, and we are required to find the value of the function or the population in the year. This one 1895, 1910, 1930. So we will use these three formulae, and these formulae: Newton's forward difference formula, Newton's backward difference formula, and Stirling formula. These are important from the examination point of view, and I hardly remember any chance that these formulae do not appear in the examination. Either there comes the numerical based upon them, or there comes the derivation of these formulae, and sometime we are asked to find what is equally spaced data. That comes in the very short answer type question, that is questions of one marks. So we have to go through this topic very thoroughly and have to understand the every aspect of it, and then try to understand the idea. And tomorrow we will in the next video we will again, firstly we will revise this thing, and we will try to solve the numericals based upon the Newton's forward difference formula. So we will take this topic very carefully, so that every aspect of the topic is clear to the minds of students, and once it is cleared, I hope and I believe student at their own would be able to do many numerical problems, and they will be able to understand and make it as permanent in their memory. So this is all I have from this lecture, and I expect you to just go through these ideas that I have discussed today with you, like the idea of interpolation, idea of what are the kinds of interpolation based upon the approximative curve. First was the linear interpolation, second was the quadratic interpolation, third was the cubic interpolation. So next we studied the what are the different kind of interpolation based upon the spacing of the arguments. First was the equally spaced data, and second was the unequally spaced data. Equally spaced data was the data in which the spacing between the arguments is equal, and unequally spaced data is the data in which the spacing between the arguments is unequal. So there are different formula used for interpolation of the equally spaced data and for unequally spaced data. For equally spaced data we have studied Newton forward difference formula, Newton's backward difference formula, and Stirling's formula. These are important formulae from the examination point of view. And then we studied Newton's divided difference formula, which is the interpolation formula for unequal spacing, and Lagrange's interpolation formula for unequal spacing. These are the formulae that we have discussed, and in the next lecture we will be doing the numericals based upon the Newton's forward difference formula. So till then, keep learning, keep practicing, stay safe, stay healthy. So till then, take care, bye bye, see you soon. This is Dr. Rajesh saying goodbye, take care, bye bye, see you soon.